heard me say previously that code is like a fingerprint. No two programmers code exactly the same. We each have different algorithmic approaches into solving a problem. We think differently, which generally is that different algorithmic approach. We have different experiences and we have a different knowledge base. There may be ways we can do things in a programming language that we're not even aware of. We also name things differently, we comment differently, but one of the key things here is there are multiple ways to do the same thing in most computer languages. We've seen that as an example when we created message boxes earlier and we wanted to display the red X icon. We could specify messageboxicon.error, but we could also specify messageboxicon.hand or messageboxicon.stop. All three showed the exact same icon. Same with exclamation warning or asterisk and information. Well, our topic at hand is assembling strings. And in this video, in the next three, I'm going to show you 4 different ways to assemble strings. And you can choose the one that you think works best for you or that works best for a particular situation. I do use all 4. I primarily like interpolation, but that's a newer format. If you look at my older code, I did a lot of concatenation. So let's take a look at that. We're going to start with concatenation, but first let's talk about what assembling a string is. So we might have an application where we're asking the user to enter a first name and a last name and to log in or submit. And then we want some output that basically says, welcome to VB, and uses their name. So in this case, Joan Smith, welcome to VB Joan Smith. Now that output is comprised, in this case, of 5 different string values. The first is a literal string, and that's why it's in quotes, of welcome to VB, comma, and a space. And I'm going to add to that the first name, which is Joan. I need to then add a space, so that's another literal string. Then I need to add the last name, which is a variable value of Smith. And then finally, the exclamation mark is a separate string value. So I need to be able to put those together to create the output string that I want. Let's look at how to do that with concatenation. I've written a program in which the user enters their first name and their favorite sport. So in this case I have Alex and tennis. Click the assemble string button and we get a message box that pops up that says, for the title, concatenated string, my name is Alex and my favorite sport is tennis. And that's using concatenation to create that output string. I'm going to click OK because I've got the other 3 methodologies also coded here, and we'll look at those in the next videos. But here's the string format. You'll see the output's exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the title. There's the interpolated string, and there is the string builder. So 4 different ways of doing the same thing. Let's go back and look at this concatenated string code. So I dimmed some variables that are strings, concat, str format, interp, fn, and sport. So the concat is going to be our prompt that we're going to build for this message box. And we'll do the same thing with str format and interp when we look at string format and interpolation. The fn is going to be the value that the user enters into txt first name in that text property. And the sport is txt sport.text. So we're going to get those 2 values just so we can work with those a little bit easier. All I have to do is reference fn and sport rather than the full name of the text box and the property. So here's my concatenation demo. We're going to take concat as our variable and say it equals a literal string of my name is and a space. Then we're going to use the concatenation operator, which is the ampersand. And that means combine to this string fn. Now fn is our variable, the string variable, contains the first name. We're going to get the value of the variable. So it's going to be my name is, in this case, Alex. I'm going to concatenate to that another literal string of a space. And it's important as we put strings together, we're thinking about the spaces. We don't want words to run together. So space and my favorite sport is, and a space, concatenate to that the value of sport, my string variable, contains txt sport.text. Concatenate to that a period. So I want it to be in a sentence format. Now, other languages such as C# and Java and Python use the plus sign for concatenating strings. VB now allows you to use the plus sign as well as the ampersand. So it's your choice. By the way, I think if you go into VBA, writing macros in Excel, I think you have to use the ampersand, but don't quote me on that. That may also now use the plus sign as well. So here's the alternative using the plus sign. Exact same thing. The only thing I've changed is exchanging the ampersand for the plus in each of the locations. We could actually mix those together if we want. You have some ampersands and some pluses. But I'm generating my concat string, and then I'm going to use that in the message box. Message box.show concat, that's my prompt, and then my title is concatenated string. So that is string concatenation. In the next video, we'll look at string.format. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the Programming Practicum playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos I create, you can click my picture in the top right to subscribe to the channel.